What's up, everybody? Trinity here. So, when I was growing up, there was this saying that you would hear from adults, typically like my grandma or somebody like that. An adult figure who would probably be, maybe watching over you and probably your cousins. The saying goes, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." Now, I'm not sure if you've heard this saying and what it meant to you, but chances are when my grandmother would be saying this to me or any one of her grandkids or maybe even one of her sons, was that don't let somebody get the best of you. And I feel like, there's a lot of people that when they hear those words, it's like a thing where, oh, if somebody's bullying you and saying mean things to you, just don't worry about what they're saying. Their words don't matter. Where it's not necessarily that. Because there's things out there that, kind of trigger us all, right? Somebody's going to say something that's probably going to get you upset. Maybe nobody has a perfect childhood. Somebody's probably been picked on or whatnot by somebody. And, chances are it's usually like one of your friends or family that knows those buttons, somebody that really knows you really well, that knows those words, those buttons to push to trigger you into a response. Everybody's got them. Everybody's got one. I mean, maybe you have a perfect childhood and you don't, but everybody has those words that kind of might trigger an emotional response or some sort of reaction out of you. Now, like I said, I feel like a lot of people use that saying as like, oh, don't worry about what other people are saying. But that's ultimately what it is because somebody did say something that upset you. And that's just normal. A lot of people will get upset and triggered by things that people say to them. Rather, when you're a little kid, maybe they call you four eyes, or maybe they call you fatty, or maybe they call you skinny. Whatever. I mean, whatever it is. Just these different things that people, especially as kids, use to shame one another. And like I said, you always heard the saying when you were a kid. Because whenever I would hear it from my grandmothers, usually because your younger cousin was sitting there, probably said something or did something and provoked a reaction out of you, in which you probably hauled off and hit him upside the head or punched him or whatnot, and they went crying to to grandma. She came and she found you, and she's like, what happened? Like, why'd you hit so and so? Why'd you hit your cousin? And well, ultimately it came down to they said or did something that triggered a response from you. You overreacted, and that's when you should say, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." And it's not to say that the words aren't going to hurt you. It's to say, don't let somebody get the best of you in the situation. Because we're all going to have those things that somebody's going to say to us and that are going to maybe trigger a response, and that's perfectly natural. Like I said, a lot of people have that, but it's to not overreact. Don't react in the moment. Don't be triggered by somebody else, because chances are that's ultimately what they're looking to do, is to trigger a response out of you or a reaction in order to make you look foolish or to do anything like that, or maybe to knock your cousin upside the head. But anyway, and that's really just kind of the power of words. And it kind of made me think about this scene right here in Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I remember when this show actually when it aired, I think I even made mention of this on a live stream. But you see Bucky sitting there as Ao. I believe that's this lady from Wakanda that is doing this kind of ritual with him. And she's going over these words, and she's saying, "Don't worry, I won't let you hurt anybody." And he's sitting there doubting that this is going to work. So she starts saying off those words that would trigger him into basically program mode when he was being, basically brainwashed by Hydra. The same words that we've seen Zemo say in Winter Soldier. And, and we even seen that in Captain America Winter Soldier, where they have, they had it in the book, these words that kind of control him to do whatever they say when you say these combination of words. And that's kind of what's going on here. And you see he's sitting there, he has this emotional response. He's sitting there crying because when she got done, you could see that he was all emotional. And that's the power of the words here, right? You know, he was sitting there upset, you know, because he thought they were gonna trigger that out of him, but they didn't. They didn't. But the thing is they still hold power over him. And then, you know, later you seen, actually it was actually earlier in the season, you seen where he actually went to see Zemo when he was in jail, and that's when Zemo said to him, you know, started repeating off the words, and he tells him, he's like, oh, I don't do that, you know, I don't work like that anymore. And Zemo tells him, like, I know, but he looks at him, he's like, but it's still in there. And that's the thing, you know, and that's the thing about sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, is the fact that he has been healed for now of these words, these trigger words that trigger him into basically becoming a killing machine. But just going by what we've got here, all it's going to take, you know, just like anybody else, just like a lot of people, you know, just like when you were a kid and you would snap and you would sock your cousin and you go crying to your grandma. At some point, maybe you might snap. And at some point, Bucky's probably going to snap once again. And those words will actually work. He will be in that emotional state. But when will that be? How soon is it till Bucky snaps and turns into a cold-blooded killer again? But anyway, I don't know. Just some thoughts that I had. Thanks for watching. Give this video a like if you like it. Hey, give it a thumbs down if you don't. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll see you all in the next video.